Richard D. Wyckoff's method of trading and investing in stocks. This is a very interesting and a genuine book basically to learn markets. This is the starting point for any traders to learn. That's basically he has written, this is a course of instructions on the science and techniques of stock markets, how markets function. He talks about the science and he talks about the techniques which he followed. He was a stock trader from the age of 14. He started trading, then he wrote a lot of magazine. He interviewed a lot of my favorite traders also, like Gann, Jesse Livermore and other traders, JP Morgan and a lot more people. He learned their methods, and before like at the end of his age, he actually wrote this course of instruction, and he just passed away. And what happened is, like in this there is like 25 topics. We will look at it chapter by chapter. That's basically we will explore everything in this chapter by chapter. The first is just a forward of why he did it or how we should look at markets, those kind of details. But the real essence starts from the second chapter. The second chapter is basic law. Here he talks about demand and supplies law in detail. Then the third topic is he talks about judging the market by its own actions. That's basically he talks how to actually look at markets and how to judge the markets, and what is the mistake we as a traders commit. That basically we follow the ticker or the price just for the sake of looking at it, but how we should look at it is what he sets the context for it in this chapter. Then in the fourth chapter he talks about different types of charts. He calls it forms the charts, like bar chart, wave chart, and then he talks about point and figure chart, which is his own methodology, and it is still used widely. In wave chart there is a concept of Wyckoff wave which is introduced. In bar chart is like a very interesting, where like it's a younger brother of candlestick chart where details are very clear. Then he talks about buying and selling waves. So here he sets the context. That's basically any markets. That's basically if we need to trade, we need to look the charts in waves. So here he is very much into waves trading, and he used to just look at chart, and he used to have the trader's intuition. He wants us to look at charts through waves, and that is what he establishes in this particular chapter. Then he talks about chart records. Again he gets into different charts and what kind of like a different kind of charting in detail. He talks about the charting patterns, those kind of things which sets the context for rest all case studies which we do. Then he talks about the composite average. So since he was dealing in New York Stock Exchange, he used to talk a lot about their composite average, and the topic is determining the trend of the market. That's basically the major trend, how to gauge the trend of the market, how to actually go or be with the trend of the market, how to read the trend of the market is said in this chapter, which is 7th. Then comes the 8th, where he talks about comparing strength and weakness. Again, yes, there is a comparative analysis which he does. He does it with the help of Wyckoff chart, and then put it with index chart and see which stock is performing, which is not performing, how to plan our campaign and stuff. Then comes a very interesting topic. That's like the 9th topic. That is how how a campaign is conducted by an operator. So here he talks about individual chart studies, where we look at individual chart and we try to gauge the operator's campaign. He talks about a case study of how operator conducts their campaign. We will explore this paragraph by paragraph in that particular video in detail. Then he talks about how the operator's intention can be detected. That's basically, if at all the person who's behind the chart, that's basically the operator who's taking the price up and down, how to gauge his intention. So the next chapter he explores that. Then he talks about case studies. That's basically individual chart studies using figure chart. That becomes the next 2 chapters. We will look at these all also. That's basically the first chart is individual chart studies. The next chapter is individual stock studies. After we study the individual chart and individual stocks, We look at figure chart. Here he uses New York Times average chart studies. Then comes his new technique, that's basically market technique, that was like volume analysis. He talks about volume analysis, how to analyze volume through the eyes of a Wyckoff. Wyckoff, if at all you look at any trader who have a knowledge of Wyckoff, they talk a lot about volume. Here we will see Wyckoff, what did Wyckoff see in volume and how we can make use of it. Then comes significance of trend lines. So basically in this topic he says why it is very important to draw trend lines and where exactly to logically to draw trend lines. We will see as per Wyckoff which is the right way, and we will try to do that. And then comes the next chapter where he talks about vertical line chart of and it would be a case study. Both are vertical line chart, case study 4 and 5, like case study 6 and 7, sorry. And then comes the next chapter, which is very important. It tells it's about position sheet, barometer value. This tells selecting the best stock for trading. That's basically, there are a lot of stocks. If we are trading in India, we know there are like around 2000 stocks. We also saw why indices are important in our previous videos. Here he says how to maintain a position chart and how to actually track it detail. So we will see how Wyckoff did it in Wyckoff's own way. Then we will see how to determine the position of an individual stock. So again, the major position sheet tells the complete position of the market and different averages. Here he tells an individual position of, like, we interlink the barometer and also our previous learning, and we see which stock to take entry, plan our campaign, all. Then comes buying and selling test, which is a very important concept which Wyckoff said. How the buying and selling test actually works, and what is the intention of operator, what is the operator checking at this particular instant is what is checked in buying and selling test chapter. Then comes refinement. He talks about further refinements, the refinements of all the learnings he did. He had written this book after trading for 45 years. So that is a huge experience. So he did a lot of refinements in all the things which we see, and that will help us see things more clearly. Then comes the wave chart. So he talks about Wyckoff wave, which is very important. We will create our own wave charts. Basically, we will see in Indian market how we can create our own wave charts, and we will be taking trades accordingly. And then comes stop loss. So stop orders and stop loss are very important, and let's hear it from Wyckoff, what Wyckoff says. The one who was trading for 45 years, he had his own brokerage firm. He was a Wall Street hero. In Wall Street, he was called a hero, and he was in a very good position. So we will see what he has to tell about stop orders and stop losses. Then he generally talks about all like the 24 and 25th chapter. He talks the general cautionary for all traders, what we need to look at. So this is what we will be exploring each day, a single chapter by chapter or a single video where we will explore all the angles and also our Nifty or Bank Nifty's perspective into it.